What have you learned?
I think this week I have learned that contemplating is is more important than just like meditation.
At
It
your
seems.
stage, yes. Contemplation and
Because
insight, and insight. Good. Questions?
yeah, I have some question here. Let me pull up.
Meditation is, for the audience, meditation is to calm your mind enough to where you can see the difference between that which observes your thoughts or your mind or your sensations and those sensations, thoughts, memories, perceptions, etc. themselves. So basically you're trying to find the observing agent, as it were, at least in the beginning. And once you've accomplished that with meditation, then you can understand some of the readings, etc. And your contemplations go much further. This is a matter of experience over millennia, frankly. Okay, sir?
Mhm.
Questions?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I have been reading Avatakam Sutra like since some time,
Mm-hmm.
and
Avatamsaka Sutra, the flower ornament
yeah,
scripture, the beautiful, beautiful psychoactive treatise, which is mind altering. That's the point. And it deconditions you and reconditions your mind in a much, 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 much better way, not requiring beliefs, dogma, religion, or anything like that. It's really an extraordinary text. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah. So it seems that at least in the initial chapters where I'm just like reading, it seems there's not much to contemplate. Maybe
Okay.
in the later chapters there will be, but initially it seems I just need to like read through, uh, just do
True.
the visual. That it seems.
What page are you on? And I'll read some for the audience.
Maybe 167. Yeah, 166.
All right. This is a book, the second book in the flower ornament. And this book is called, excuse me, Appearance of the Buddha. And I'm just going to drop right into it, essentially randomly. At that time, another great enlightening being in the assembly, named Wisdom, like fragrant flame light illumining everywhere, empowered by the Buddha, looked over the 10 directions and said in verse. So, the enlightening being, or the Bodhisattva, his name is wisdom like fragrant flame light illumining everywhere. Wisdom like fragrant flame light illumining everywhere is the name of the Bodhisattva. And this is what he says in verse. Forgive me. The enlightening beings in this assembly enter the Buddha's inconceivable state, each able to see all of the Buddha's power. The body of knowledge can enter the atoms of every land, perceiving bodies therein, seeing all the Buddhas. Like reflections appearing in all worlds, where all the Buddhas are, in each and every one they reveal miraculous deeds. The practice of vows of universally good they have developed clear and pure. Universally good is the Bodhisattva Samantabhadra, for those of you that know him in Sanskrit. The practice vows of universally good they have developed clear and pure. They are able to see in all lands Buddha's miracles everywhere. They physically dwell in all places, equanimous Equanimous in all, with knowledge capable of such action, they enter the Buddha's realm. Having realized enlightening knowledge, they illumine the cosmos equally, fitting into the Buddha's pores the oceans of all worlds. In all Buddha lands, they manifest mystic powers, appearing in various bodies with various names as well. They can, in an instant's time, show miracles everywhere, truly awakening at the sight of enlightenment and turning the wheel of the truth. All lands, wide and vast, billions of ages, inconceivable, can be shown in a moment's span in the enlightening being's concentration. Each and every enlightening being in all Buddha lands is in the Buddha body, boundless without limits. So, if you spend a little time with this, what you see is the understanding both of fractals and of holographic, well, now we call holographic technology. But in every atom, there are worlds, and in every world's atoms, and they interpenetrate. And as space interpenetrates, so does time. And although this is extremely, extremely difficult for the usual mind to penetrate or understand this, once you've saturated yourself in this psychoactive text, what happens is you begin to see how this actually must be the case. And so the world that we see, it's neither real nor illusory, but it's one of the and I can't explain this because you have to have a deeper understanding. It's one of an infinite number of worlds in infinite space and infinite time, and in this presentation, enlightening beings or bodhisattvas are present in all of these worlds, and they're all obtaining illumination in all of these worlds at all times. And you really got to, I mean, for those of you that are inclined towards learning truth, or learning how to get closer to truth would be a better way to put it, it's hard to recommend this text enough. Thank you for letting me go on that. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I just have a small question on that one. So in the book they talk about sentient beings and Buddha children, and it seems that these two kind of people are different. So sentient beings are everyone who have a potential to be a Buddha, but they are still like just people. And then Buddha children are people who are enlightening beings who have started on the path. Is that what it is?
Are dogs sentient beings?
Dogs, yeah.
Okay, so it's not just people.
Yeah, not just people.
So now ask your question again.
Yeah, so by sentient beings, do they mean like everyone? And the Buddha children, by Buddha children, they mean people who are enlightening beings, like who have started on the path?
I haven't seen Buddha children in there. Where's Buddha children?
I think they
say children of the Buddha.
So people who are born into the Buddha dynasty.
No, I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand.
No, they're
Buddha,
not. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor, not literally.
Correct, but a metaphor for what?
For people who are now like on the bodhisattva path.
No. I'm going to speak in a generality, but remember that Buddha stands for the historical Buddha. Buddha also stands for all Buddhas, past, present, and future. And Buddha also stands as a cosmic principle. Right? A cosmic principle. So we could talk about the Buddhaverse, or we could talk about the universe. Or we could talk about worlds of Buddhas, or we could talk about multiverses if we were so inclined. Right? If you were so inclined. So to be born of the Buddha is to be born in this cosmos, unless I'm mistaken. But remember, the world in the 2nd century isn't the same as ours, even though they did have these understandings of fractals and holograms. I'm not sure they understood. I don't know what they understood. I haven't looked into that. But why would they exclude anybody?
Okay.
So the Buddha-verse is the universe. The Buddha is the cosmic principle also. Okay? So we're all born in Buddha, the Buddha-verse, or Buddha, cosmic Buddha. Okay?
Okay. Okay, got it.
All right?
Yeah.
Good question, though. Good question.
Let me ask the other one. Oh, yeah, so this is a question from The Secret of the Golden Flower.
All right.
It's from
Secret of the Golden Flower. This is a Taoist, basically a Taoist treatise, and on waking up through certain kinds of meditation, very simple meditations. I think it was translated in written in the 17th century, and its notion was to wake people up as quickly as possible. So it's stripped of almost everything except for what you need. Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is from page 25, last paragraph.
Okay, there's YouTubes on this book and the sections that are particularly valuable for contemporary women and men in the YouTube list. Okay, what page?
Page 25,
okay.
Last paragraph, number 12.
The great sages saw the interrelation of mind and energy and skillfully set up expedient for the benefit of people of later times. An alchemical text says, the hen embraces the egg, always mentally listening. These are the finest instructions. The way a hen can give life to an egg is through warm energy. Warm energy can only warm the shell and cannot penetrate inside, so she mentally conducts the energy inward. That, quote, listening, end quote, is single-minded concentration. When the mind enters, the energy enters. With warm energy, the birth takes place. That's beautiful. God, that's beautiful. So the attention of a hen to an egg is like the subtle attention that one places on one's endeavor. What's the question?
So the listening that they are mentioning here, is it the same as like when I intensely, not intensely, when I kind of focus on, let's say, the room on my right, the space, or like when I focus on, like, let's say, this cup or the space inside it, is it the same kind of feeling?
Good question, but no. He specifically says it's the warm energy. And he specifically refers to the constancy of observing it. So, when Rupert Spira talks about the I am, or something like that, or when Tolle speaks about presence, or when the Sufis speak about remembrance, right? What they're referring to is this consciousness, this steady consciousness throughout your day and night, if possible, where you keep in mind the one, God, that which is the source, the Buddha, Christ consciousness, something like that. The what is, the presence. So you have your constant attention on that, but you can't. That's not all the hen has to do. The hen has to do all kinds of other things. But meanwhile, her warm consciousness is gently resting there, penetrating, until one day it just opens. I think that's the metaphor or the analogy.
Okay, so they're talking about remembrance, not the actual task of focusing on something.
No, yeah, that's too specific. Okay. The hen is focused on the life that she's guarding. It's a beautiful metaphor. I mean, it's really gorgeous, right? But there's no specific chick, there's no specific there. She's nurturing, and so did it say it was an alchemical metaphor? I wonder, because in alchemy that sounds somewhat alchemical.
Yeah, alchemical text says.
Oh, so in the alchemical text they use that metaphor. Is that right? That sounds like alchemy. That sounds like real
Yeah.
alchemy as opposed to, you know, spills and chills and thrills alchemy. Okay, that gentle,
Okay.
very good question. I like it. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Got it. I have the other one.
I think they call it dikka, remembrance, the Sufis.
Yeah, the next question is from page 27. Here they talk about
Which book?
the same book,
Okay.
page 27.
I'm just going to briefly say this book was terribly mistranslated by Wilhelm, a German, and unfortunately Carl Jung read that truncated and just unfortunate translation, which really set a Western psychology back quite a ways, like 50 years. FYI. Okay, go ahead. What page?
Yeah, so page 27, the first two paragraphs, 18 and 19.
Distraction means the spirit is racing. Oblivion means the spirit is unclear. Distraction is easy to cure. Oblivion is hard to heal. Using the metaphor of illness, one that involves pain or itch can be treated with medicine, but oblivion is a symptom of paralysis where there is no feeling. A distracted mind can be concentrated, and a confused mind can be set in order, but oblivion is unformed darkness in contrast to distraction, which has some direction. So you can tell from this text, these folks are really serious about trying to help us. Go ahead. What's the question?
So in this one, I have, like, I know about the racing mind.
The what
I
mind?
know also the racing mind.
Okay.
I also know about like the calm mind. I also know about the confused mind, but I am not really sure what is unclear spirit.
Oblivion. It's when you're sitting there and you zone out. You're not even there anymore. This is a Zen sickness. This is a sickness that meditators get sometimes when they've meditated too much or in the wrong way, and they're just sitting there and they're not even present. They've zoned out and they think they're being spiritual, but what they are is being absent. Oblivion is much harder to treat than distraction.
Okay.
This is a meditation sickness, basically, and they're warning students and teachers to watch out for this because it's not easy to fix, because people get addicted to that and they think they're being spiritual, but what in fact they're doing is being escapist. They're going through the motions of meditation, but they're not there. Literally, there's no one home. Okay, sir?
So yeah, I have a follow-up on that.
Good.
So is it like let's say when I'm talking to someone or I'm doing something, and then my mind basically goes away and starts thinking about other things, or
If you're thinking
getting
about other
used-
things, no. You're just distracted.
Okay.
If you zone out, you don't even hear them speak, or you just hear blah, 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 blah. You're not if you're zoned out, then that's oblivion. But that's unlikely
Okay,
to
so I'm
happen
not
when you're awake. It's a meditative
Okay.
sickness. Don't worry about it otherwise, I don't think.
Okay.
I mean, if you start talking to people and all of a sudden it just sounds like a drone and their words don't make sense, and that would be a serious illness, actually.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Next.
Yeah, the next one is this is from page 28. It's looking inward.
Same book.
Yeah, same book, page 28, paragraph 24.
Okay, I'm going to read from the top of the page.
Mm-hmm.
It is also essential to understand that this device is not mechanical or forced. Just maintain a subtle looking and listening. This is a meditation guide. One of the best ones, by the way. Okay. What is looking? It is the light of the eyes spontaneously shining. The eyes not only looking inward, the eyes only looking inward and not outward. Not looking outward, yet being alert, is inward looking. It is not that there is really such a thing as looking inward. What is listening? It is the light of the ears spontaneously listening. The ears only listening inward and not outward. Not listening outward, yet being alert, is inward listening. It is not that there is really such a thing as listening inward. One more line. Listening means listening to the soundless. Looking means looking at the formless. Yeah, so this is really well done. Okay, good. What's the question?
So I think, yeah, so I think listening to the soundless or listening seems kind of straightforward, but looking, that I'm not able to understand, looking inward.
When you turn the light around, what do you see?
Mm-hmm.
So remember this,
don't
remember
see-
when I said, okay, to turn the light around, you put your eyes here, right?
Yeah,
And then
Yeah.
you, instead of looking out this way, you're going to look back here, right?
yeah,
That's just
Yeah.
a crude metaphor. This is to give you the general idea, because people get weird when you say turn the light around. Turn the light of awareness around. By the way, there's also a YouTube on this, the instructions on this as well. So, but there's no real looking, and there's no real turning the eyes around. It's turning the light of awareness around, and the light of awareness doesn't have a locus. So you're not really turning your eyes around, and you're not really looking around. It's more like that hen, except a little bit more energetic.
Mhm.
You turn the light of awareness around, but you're not really looking, just like you're not really hearing. You're looking and you're hearing. We don't have any metaphors for this because we're talking about working with awareness itself, with attention itself. So you see that? Can you see that?
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
take a few deep breaths. Clear out all the gunk in there. Now there's a subtle awareness that's present, or attention that's present. Maybe at the moments it's focused on thoughts or my voice. Let's keep going. Somehow or another this thing shut off. But so what's the question again?
Yeah, so this thought of I, how can it be so different from other thoughts that I have?
Is it different?
Because like with other thoughts, I can see them kind of concretely as objects that arise in the mind, and I can watch them, I can observe them. But this thought of I, it feels more kind of seated, and like it's like it's able to see other thoughts, but other thoughts are not able to, like other thoughts are opaque, and but this thought of this I, it can see all these things and feel all these things and not opaque.
I'm not sure I'm following. What thought can see other thoughts?
So the I, like I amness or I or whatever.
Maybe it's in a different category than thought.
Yeah.
Well, then why do you call it a thought? Are you going to make the same mistake as William James?
No.
Why do you call
I'm
it a
still
thought?
I'm still investigating what it is. Yeah, not a thought.
Good. Keep investigating. That's what you need to do.
Okay.
That's exactly what you need to do. Can you move over a little bit? And you keep drifting off like your screen is lazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Much better.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Got it. There's another tweet I think you posted a long time ago. Uh, Let me read that. It's a short one. I think it was about how infants, they have a Buddha mind compared to like adults.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I think it says
I
when
don't
we look
remember it
back
at all.
on.
I don't remember it at all, but go ahead.
So it is. So I think it is a thing said by Bankei,
By who?
and it says when Bankei, Bankei, Bankei,
Bonky, okay.
and it says when we look back on this life, we see that when people are born, no one has thoughts of joy, sadness, hatred, or bitterness. Are we not born in the state of the Buddha mind, bequeathed by our parents? It is birth, it is after birth that intelligence develops, and people learn bad habits from others in the course of seeing and hearing them. As they grow up, their personal mental habits emerge, and they turn the Buddha mind into a monster of biased self importance.
So I didn't say that. Some guy named Bonky did.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I just didn't really. I thought it might be incorrect because when an infant is born, their mental capacity is limited,
Yeah.
and they're like,
Their mental capacity is limited. What does that have to do with Buddha mind?
but then don't Sufis say that we need to cultivate faculties, we need to develop faculties to experience uh, the higher.
Those are Sufis, and I think they're talking about something. They're talking about life, and they're talking about practice. They're talking about procedure. I think this was about Buddha mind. There's a very famous koan. You'll get to it later, all right? So I'm not going to ruin it now.
Mhm.
It's a very famous Zen koan. Does a dog have Buddha mind? That's what the Zen master asks. Does a dog have Buddha mind? Or Buddha nature?
Mhm.
So that's the koan that you're stuck with now, poor guy.
Mhm.
Okay. Next.
Okay.
Being very compassionate, these masters did not give everything away, right? Because they understood that without working through these things, people would not get anywhere.
Mhm.
It's a very delicate balance in 2024 because people have become so dependent and I mean, dare I say entitled, or just they figure that it should be handed to them if it's anything at all. And that's just not the way that this cosmos is organized at all. So there it is. Okay, keep going.
Mhm. I mean, yeah, that's all the questions I had.
Okay, sir.
Right.
So keep on trucking, that's good. Keep practicing, that's the main thing. And these things you have to contemplate through them as you're reading through the flower ornament, and that's the medicine that's prescribed according to the times, the needs, and the condition. Okay, sir?
Mhm.
Take good care. Guard your mind out there. Ciao.
Thank you.